What's up everyone, it's Fluent Pilot. Welcome to the next video. Today there will be not so much grammar or aviation vocab. I'd like to go through some tips on how to improve your fluency. It's Fluent Pilot, right? So let's talk about fluency. Okay, honestly, I'd say it's the biggest challenge for my students and my colleagues to get fluent enough so they can claim level 5. Well, sometimes it's even hard to meet fluency requirements for level 4 or get confident in speaking, like in general. It's often the case you understand pretty well, you have no problem with reading aviation texts, you're good at radio communications in English, but when it comes to talking, your tempo is low, you make pauses. You are even embarrassed because you don't like the way your conversation is going. And that brings down your fluency even more. And like I've mentioned in some other video, fluency is one of the 6 descriptors. It's gonna be evaluated by the language proficiency examiner. And believe me, it's gonna be the fluency that will to a large extent define your overall grade. The good thing is, you can improve your fluency. And your key here is repetition. Transformation of quantity into quality is the concept that I want you to keep in mind while you will be watching the rest of the video. Now let's go through some actual techniques which will help you improve your fluency in aviation English. Well, it works for any foreign language, of course. Anyway, start with memorizing short aviation texts and cite them out loud. I mean texts like those we have on our Instagram, for example, where we go through the cell call question list, or any other text that you like. Start with 3-4 sentences max, something that will not require much time to memorize and will not induce negative emotions. Don't torture yourself with lengthy paragraphs. I totally understand trying to learn things by heart may probably be not the most pleasant way to spare some 10-15 minutes of your time, but it's totally worth it, and it's definitely a good technique to increase your rate of speech. I think it's pretty obvious that the more times you repeat a phrase or a sentence, the less time your brain will need when you're gonna be trying to express a similar idea again. Plus, you create a pool of cliches in your head which pop up much easier when you need them in a real conversation. Your brain will waste less time, your fluency will go up. So memorizing short aviation texts and citing them out loud. I'll say again, out loud. Cite several times. Make sure each time you hesitate less and the pauses get shorter. Technique number 2. Record yourself. Then replay the recording and listen to the way you sound. It's not that hard. Use a voice recorder or just your cell phone. But I can't stress enough, guys, how powerful this technique is in boosting your language skills, including fluency. I'm 100% sure you've never done that, but I urge you to start using this technique right away. At first, you're gonna freak out. No one likes the way our voice sounds when recorded, but don't mind that. Seriously, you'll realize right away how easily you can trace all your mistakes and pinpoint the problems that you should work on. It's like you're hiring an English teacher, except that you don't have to pay this teacher. You'll hear your grammar mistakes, your pronunciation flaws, all the unnecessary pauses you make, the junk words like It's like you're going to be doing a critical analysis of your own performance. You do several recordings of the way you cite the same text. Each time address the problems that you discovered in your previous recording, and in no time you will notice your progress in language skills, including fluency. Okay, let's move on to technique number 3, and it's called shadowing. You guys have a wonderful tool at your service to advance in aviation English, and that is YouTube. Tons of aviation videos with just beautiful content. Nice aviators sharing amazing experience, rich aviation vocab and grammar of native speakers. I'm sure you are subscribed to a bunch of those YouTube channels already. So the next time you watch an aviation video, do the shadowing. Play a sentence, hit the pause button, and repeat the sentence out loud. Then play the next sentence, hit the pause, and repeat it, and so on. Try to pick up the rate of speech and meticulously imitate the sounds. The next time, hit the pause button every 2 sentences. Can you do 3 sentences in a row? Fascinating. If you can shadow a speaker for like several minutes non-stop, then congratulations. You can now go to the United Nations organization and do simultaneous interpreting. Just kidding. But the truth is, this technique is gonna help you get your fluency to the next level. Alright guys, we've just covered the techniques that professional linguists use. You can trust me on that. They definitely work, and I strongly recommend that you use them to improve your fluency. But before we say goodbye, here is a bonus tip for you. It might sound less academic, I'd say, but it's surely as powerful. Let's call it find a victim technique, or find your audience. At a certain point of your language learning process, you will need someone you could talk to. And this is the time, by the way, when an English teacher or a tutor may get handy. But it doesn't necessarily have to be a certified teacher. Plus, not all of us can afford one. Get creative and come up with a solution. Try italki or any other source of finding a person you could talk to. There's a dozen of alternative platforms out there if you Google. In our case, it also could be an aviation professional that you know has strong language skills. Every single day you can find someone like that in your professional community. I encourage my students to use every single chance like that to boost speaking skills. It can be, say, a pilot from a foreign airline you meet in a bar, or a technical conference, or a hotel lobby. I don't know, your company representative when you do a turnaround on a foreign flight. Don't stalk people, of course. Ask a question or two, respond to what you hear, bring on the ideas you learned the other day. Discuss whatever you want. Actual aviation weather, rosters, types of aircraft you fly, airspace sectors you manage as a controller, training, aviation trends, etc. I'm not sure how easy it's gonna be now with all those newly established social distancing rules, but you got the idea. In order to pick up fluency, you gotta talk, right? It's the key. Do that every day and the progress will come soon. Okay, thanks for watching. A couple of new videos on grammar and aviation vocabulary are on their way. So stay tuned. Comment, share, like the video like you always do. I really appreciate that. And see you next time. Cheers.